Hello everyone, welcome back to Book of Motivation. Today, I want you to pause for a moment, not just to listen, but to reflect. Because what I am about to share is not theory. It is not a motivational quote you read once and forget. It is something I have lived, something I have struggled with, something I had to fight daily. And the truth is simple. Your life is not changing, not because you are unlucky, not because the world is unfair, not because you lack talent or intelligence. Your life is not changing because there are invisible forces controlling your thinking, your habits, your actions, and your environment. There are 5 reasons. 5 powerful reasons that quietly keep you stuck. And unless you confront them head on, nothing around you will change because nothing inside you will change. Let's begin with the first one. 1-year-old mindset is protecting your small life. The most dangerous prison in the world is not made of steel. It is made of beliefs. Beliefs that I'm not ready. This is too hard. People like me don't succeed. And here is what makes this mindset so dangerous. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. It protects you from failure by convincing you not to try. I remember when I failed my university entrance exams, not once, not twice, 3 times. Imagine that. 3 failures staring back at you. Friends moving forward, life moving forward, and you standing still. At that moment, I could have accepted a simple conclusion. Maybe I'm not smart enough. And if I had accepted that belief, everything after that would have collapsed before it even began. But I realized something powerful. Failure does not define your future. Your interpretation of failure does. Most people don't stay average because they lack opportunity. They stay average because they adopt a mindset that shrinks their vision. If you believe you are limited, you will behave in limited ways. If you believe growth is possible, you will search for ways to grow. I was not the best student. My English was terrible. I was rejected from job after job. Even KFC rejected me. Out of 24 applicants, 23 were accepted. Guess who wasn't? Me. But here is the important part. Rejection did not hurt me as much as the possibility of believing I was incapable. So instead of shrinking, I expanded. I began reading more, listening more, learning from anyone smarter than me. I practiced English with tourists on the street for free. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Was it embarrassing? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But slowly, something changed. My mindset expanded before my life did. And once your mind expands, your actions begin to follow. If your life feels stuck today, ask yourself honestly, what beliefs am I protecting? What excuses have I turned into identity? Because your mindset is either a ladder or a cage, and you decide which one it becomes. 2, you blame everything except yourself. This is the second reason your life cannot change. Blame. Blame feels good in the short term. It protects your ego. It removes pressure. It allows you to say, it's not my fault. The economy is bad. My boss is unfair. My parents didn't support me. Society is against me. And maybe some of those things are true. But here is the brutal truth. The moment you blame, you give away your power. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control society. You cannot control other people. But you can control your response. When I was rejected from over 30 jobs, I could have blamed the system. When investors refused to believe in my vision, I could have blamed them. When people laughed at my early ideas, I could have blamed their ignorance. But blame would have changed nothing. Responsibility changed everything. Responsibility is not about self-punishment. It is about self-empowerment. The day you say, I am responsible for my growth, I am responsible for my skills, I am responsible for my effort, that day, you regain control. Because if something is your responsibility, it is within your influence. Most people remain stuck, not because their circumstances are impossible, but because they refuse to take ownership. Let me give you something practical. Every morning, write down 3 things in your life that are not where you want them to be. Your health, your income, your discipline, your relationships. Then next to each one, write, what action can I take today without blaming anyone? Small action, immediate action. Not next week, not next month. Today, because responsibility creates movement, and movement creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Without responsibility, you wait. With responsibility, you act. 3. You avoid discomfort like it's an enemy. Here is something most people misunderstand. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. If your life feels comfortable but stagnant, that is not coincidence. That is cause and effect. Discomfort is the price of expansion. When I started teaching English for free, I was not confident. When I started Alibaba, I did not have perfect knowledge. When I stood in front of rooms full of people, I was nervous. But every uncomfortable moment strengthened me. Think about the gym. When you lift weights, your muscles feel stress. That stress creates growth. Your life works the same way. If you avoid uncomfortable conversations, your communication skills stay weak. If you avoid public speaking, your confidence stays small. If you avoid learning new skills because it feels hard, your opportunities shrink. The question is not, am I uncomfortable? The question is this discomfort building my future? There is constructive discomfort, and there is constructive discomfort. Constructive discomfort is the one that stretches you, makes you nervous, challenges your identity. For example, applying for a job you feel underqualified for, starting a business without perfect certainty, speaking up when you usually stay silent. These moments feel risky, but they are transformative. If you train yourself to take one uncomfortable action every day, your life will begin to compound in ways you cannot imagine. One difficult conversation, one new skill practiced, one rejection faced instead of avoided, one bold step taken despite fear. That is how exponential change begins, not with massive breakthroughs, but with daily courage. Pause here, because this is important. Your life cannot change if your mindset stays small, if you refuse responsibility, you run from discomfort. These 3 alone can keep you stuck for decades. But we are not finished. There are 2 more reasons, subtle, powerful, and often overlooked, that silently sabotage your transformation. And they may be closer to you than you realize. In part 1, we talked about 3 powerful reasons your life refuses to change. For your old mindset, for your refusal to take responsibility, for your avoidance of discomfort. Now we go deeper, because even if you fix those 3, there are 2 more hidden forces that quietly destroy your progress. They are subtle. They don't look dangerous, but they are deadly to transformation. Let's continue. 4. You keep waiting for the perfect moment. This one destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Waiting. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for more money. Waiting for more confidence. Waiting for the perfect plan. Waiting until fear disappears. Let me tell you something clearly. The perfect moment does not exist. It is an illusion created by fear. When I started building what would later become Alibaba Group, I did not have perfect knowledge. I did not have perfect funding. I did not have a perfect team. I did not even have a clear roadmap. What I had was belief and urgency. If I had waited for perfection, someone else would have moved faster. Perfection feels intelligent. It feels strategic. It feels safe. But often, it is just procrastination wearing a suit, many people say. I'll start when I feel ready. But readiness comes from action, not before it. Confidence does not come from thinking. It comes from doing. Momentum does not come from planning. It comes from movement. Think about this. If you wait until you feel fearless to start something important, you will wait forever. Because fear does not disappear before action. It fades after action. You don't gain clarity by standing still. You gain clarity by stepping forward. And here's what most people misunderstand. Small and perfect action beats perfect planning every single time. Send the application. Start the channel. Launch the idea. Have the difficult conversation. Take the first client. Learn publicly. Act before you feel fully prepared. Because action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create confidence. And confidence opens doors. But if you stay in the waiting zone, nothing moves. And when nothing moves, your life stays the same. Waiting is comfortable. Action is uncomfortable. But only one creates change. 5. You are surrounded by the wrong people. This one is painful. Because sometimes the people holding you back are not strangers. They are friends, colleagues, even family. Let me say something honest. Your environment shapes your identity more than your intentions do. If you are surrounded by people who complain constantly, you will normalize complaining. If you are surrounded by people who fear risk, you will start avoiding risk. If you are surrounded by people who settle for average, average will feel acceptable. Human beings adapt. We absorb language. We mirror habits. We inherit emotional standards. And slowly, without realizing it, your ambition shrinks to match your circle. When I was young, I actively sought people who challenged my thinking. People who were smarter than me. People who believed bigger than me. People who pushed me out of comfort. Because I understood something powerful. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Growth requires exposure. If your circle does not talk about ideas, goals, discipline, or improvement, your brain will slowly stop thinking about them too. Energy is contagious. So is mediocrity. This does not mean you must abandon everyone, but you must audit your environment. Ask yourself, who inspires me? Who challenges me? Who pushes me to grow? Who drains my energy? Who normalizes excuses? Spend more time with the first group. Limit exposure to the second. And if you cannot physically change your circle immediately, then expand it digitally. Read biographies. Listen to powerful conversations. Follow mentors online. Surround your mind with growth until your physical environment catches up. Because your environment is either a ladder or an anchor. And you must decide which one it becomes. When all five combine. Now look at the full picture. Your life cannot change if you keep the same small mindset. You blame instead of taking responsibility. You avoid discomfort. Why you wait for perfection. You stay surrounded by limitation. These five together create stagnation. But when you reverse them, everything shifts. Change your mindset and your vision expands. Take responsibility and your power returns. Embrace discomfort and your strength grows. Act now and momentum begins. Choose the right people and your standards rise. This is not theory. This is compounding transformation. Let me explain something critical. Most people want massive overnight success. But transformation happens in layers. Daily mindset shifts. Daily responsibility taken. Daily uncomfortable actions. Daily imperfect movement. Daily exposure to better thinking. And one day, you wake up and realize you are not the same person. Your confidence feels different. Your discipline feels stronger. Your opportunities feel larger. Your results feel measurable. And that is when exponential change begins. Not because luck suddenly appeared, but because you built internal strength. The person you become. Here is the truth most people miss. The goal is not just to change your life. The goal is to become the person capable of sustaining the life you want. Money without discipline disappears. Opportunity without courage is wasted. Vision without action fades. But when you fight these 5 reasons daily, you are shaping identity. You are building resilience. You are strengthening character. You are training persistence. And identity change is permanent. You may lose money. You may face setbacks. But the disciplined, responsible, courageous version of you will rebuild. That is real transformation. Take a moment now. Ask yourself honestly, which of these 5 reasons is dominating my life right now? Be truthful. No judgment, just awareness. Because awareness is the first crack in limitation. Now we move from awareness to action. Because understanding the 5 reasons is powerful, but fighting them daily is transformational. Change does not happen once. It happens repeatedly. It happens intentionally. It happens through small disciplined decisions made every single day. Let's break this down practically. 1. Fight your old mindset with daily mental training. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not plant intentionally, weeds grow automatically. Old beliefs, doubts, fear, insecurity, they grow naturally if left unchecked. So what do? You train your mind daily. Start each morning by rewriting one limiting belief. If your mind says, I'm not good enough, respond with evidence of growth. If it says, I always fail, remind yourself of lessons learned. Read 10 pages of something that expands your thinking. Listen to voices that challenge your comfort. Replace passive consumption with intentional learning. Mindset is not motivation, it is repetition. And the thoughts you repeat become the identity you live. 2. Replace blame with ownership immediately. The moment you catch yourself blaming, pause. Instead of saying, they didn't support me, ask, what can I control right now? Instead of "this is unfair," ask, "what action is still possible?" Ownership shifts your focus from weakness to power. Even if the situation truly is unfair, responsibility gives you leverage. Without ownership, you remain stuck in reaction. With ownership, you move into creation. Write down one area where you've been blaming circumstances and take one small corrective action today. That's how responsibility becomes strength. 3. Schedule discomfort into your life. Do not wait for discomfort to randomly appear. Choose it voluntarily. Every day. Make it a rule, one uncomfortable action daily. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Speak up in the meeting. Start the workout. Apply for the opportunity. Practice the skill publicly. When you choose discomfort, you build psychological strength. When you avoid it, fear builds control. The goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to become bigger than it. 4. Destroy the habit of waiting. Perfection is procrastination disguised as planning. Instead of waiting for readiness, define the smallest possible action. Not the full business plan. Just the first step. Not the full transformation. Just today's movement. Momentum is built through micro actions. When you move daily, even imperfectly, you create emotional progress. And emotional progress fuels discipline. Action first. Confidence second. 5. Upgrade your environment intentionally. You become what surrounds you. Audit your circle honestly. If someone constantly drains your ambition, reduce exposure. If someone pushes you forward, increase connection. And if your physical circle cannot change immediately, change your mental one. Read biographies of builders. Study interviews of disciplined thinkers. Consume conversations about growth. Protect your environment like you protect your future, because they are the same thing. The real transformation. When you fight these 5 reasons daily, something shifts internally. You stop reacting. You stop complaining. You stop complaining. You start moving. You stop shrinking. You start expanding. And slowly, you become someone different, not by accident, but by discipline. Transformation is not magic. It is structured courage. And if you practice these 5 fights every single day, your life will not just change. It will compound exponentially.